Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told out of Voice of Radio. So today we've got some secret rares that we need to talk about from, well, the Mask of Change in Japan. Obviously going to be Twilight Masquerade over here. And yeah, these are awesome and exciting. And I'm a bit of a fan. Plus, I've been going through my Japanese collection lately. And I'm collecting all of the illustration rares, not special illustration rares, I'm not rich, from the Scarlet and Violet era. And I've got more than I thought I did. But now I'm starting to look at all the lovely ones I've got and all the lovely ones I'm missing. And frankly, 12 a set makes it a little bit of a challenge, which I like. They're not that expensive. There's just a lot of them. Like, for instance, do you want to see a new one? How about this one? Wattrel, I think he's called. The Lightning Bird. We all caught one when we played through Scarlet and Violet. Don't tell me you didn't. Kairen in Japanese. And essentially, we got a new one of these, and oh my word, it's wonderful. And I love it. I adore this artwork. And oh look, it's Mitsuhiro Arita. Who could possibly have foreseen that it would be Mitsuhiro Arita? Yeah, that dude is so good at art. Just so good at art. You got a bunch of them going and swimming down in the sea, and it's just lovely, and I love this. Like, I like a lot of the illustration rares, and this is still not my favourite one we've seen so far in the set. That still goes to Diplin, but oh my word, I'm a big fan of this, and I think it's lovely and brilliant and awesome. This is what I'm going to buy a couple boxes of this, and I hope this is one of the ones I get. For what it's worth, it's 10 damage, flip a coin, if heads, paralysis. Like, no one's arguing this is a good card, alright? It's not a good card, but maybe it can evolve into something good. I should say, in terms of the set as a whole, I should show you the evolution line. Here is the regular art of your Wattrel. It's obviously not as good. Although, to be fair, it is T0 and it is amazing. Oh my goodness. Right, in terms of 1-2 punch, this is about as good as it gets, honestly, in terms of this pair of cards. But then we've also got Killer Wattrel here, and single energy, 10 damage, and during your next turn, the attack does 120 more. And look, 130 for a single colourless energy, yes. But it's not 130. It's 10 now. And then, if this is still in the active next turn, 130. Which only actually averages out to 65 damage a turn. And if you get KO'd, it goes away. If you get put to the bench, it goes away. That's a little bit of a pain. 2 energy, 100 damage. Discarded energy from this Pokemon is not terribly inspiring. So sorry about that. But actually, Aniseki Dynamic here, look at the artwork. I think we might have found one of the best trios of art in the Pokemon TCG. It's kind of amazing. Also, just putting it out there, don't forget we do have United Thunder on the one from Paldea and Fates, which also has a shiny version as well, the Killer Wattrel I mean, which does actually mean you can do 10 damage for each Pokemon in your discard pile with United Wings anywhere on the board. So maybe that's the answer here. Maybe it's not the new Killer Wattrel, which I think we can all agree is garbage, but maybe it's the old one. I mean, it might not be, but it might be, ladies and gentlemen. It might be. I don't know. I just love the artwork. But it's not the only illustration rare that we have been shown today. We've also been shown a rather lovely brand new illustration rare of Chime Echo by Rend. Another just lovely card. Now, this is going to look kind of familiar, honestly, to a bunch of you. A bunch of you are going to look at this and go, how do I recognize that? Why does that look a little bit familiar? I'm going to tell you. It's because you're thinking of the Cramorant. You saw the Cramorant recently, didn't you? And we actually have an English scan of it. And it's not by Rend. But it is using that same kind of blur thing. I don't know, that's what I got out of it. And yeah, that's what I think. I mean, if you want Rend themselves, this Cutie Fly that we got in Temporal Forces, you can tell is very much the same artist. No blur here. Everything's nice and in focus with a Cutie Fly. But Yeah, they're the cards that come to mind for me here. And actually, it's not a terrible card. 2 energy, choose one of your bench Pokemon, put it and all cards attached to it into your hand. It's fine. It's not good, but it's fine. And I tell you what, it's a basic Pokemon, and it can use double turbo energy, but you don't mind using double turbo energy. You're not doing any damage here, so the minus 20 damage from double turbo doesn't actually matter. You're reducing 0 damage by 20, doesn't do minus 20, it just does nothing. And you can basically heal one of your bench Pokemon. There's a very good chance that doing this is basically going to give up a prize. That essentially you do this, and you save your Pokemon, yay! But then you have to give up a prize because your opponent just KOs this in the active. Maybe. But sometimes, giving up this as a single prizer, while saving a 2 or 3 prize Pokemon sitting on your bench, so you can use it again next turn, yeah. I'm not saying it's a great card. I'm saying that it is a card that has a use, and has a little bit of potential, and has a lovely illustration rare. Do I like it as much as the Wattrel? Nah, mate. But it is a little bit of potential. But we got a couple of full art supporters here as well, and they are full art supporters. Let's start off with Carmine here, and what we've got is an SR, a secret rare. It is a full art. That is important. And of course, we saw the supporter card the other day, but now we've got the lovely full art version by Kantaro, and it is awesome. And it's one, you can use it turn 1. Yay, you can use it on your first turn, going first. And you discard your hand and draw 5. So, look, it's a rubbish version of Professor's Research. Because you're drawing 2 fewer cards. You're drawing 5 rather than 7. It is, very objectively, a worse version of Professor's Research. Unless you're going first on turn 1. And if you're going first on turn 1, then all of a sudden this becomes a much better version of Professor's Research, because you can't play that. And look, it's not like there's no way to do this. We've got Luminion, for instance, who will search a supporter card and can be used turn 1 going first. And we've got Forest Seal Stone, that if you can draw that and a Pokemon V and attach it, you can search for this. So I don't think you play 4 copies of Carmine, giving yourself a somewhere in the region of 50% chance of drawing it to use it turn 1 going first. Nah, mate. I don't think that's what you do at all. What I think you do is you have this as a one-of in your deck with some ways to search it out. And then, hey, and bearing in mind, even if you draw it turn 1, it's still only good if you're going first. It's only 50% of the time on 50% of your games. So, as a one-off, if it's searchable, I really like it, frankly. And look at the lovely artwork. But if we got a full art Carmine, we've obviously need a full art Kieran as well. And we've got one of them too. And it's by Ghidorah, who's done a bunch of full art supporters and is very, very, very good at them. And this gives you a choice of 2 things. So you can either switch your active Pokemon, which is kind of cool. It's quite nice, having a cheeky switch. Or during this turn, your Pokemon's attacks do 30 more damage to your opponent's active EX or V. And it's only EX or V. It is not any other type of rule box Pokemon. And you know what? Yeah. Why not? Extra damage is always good, and switch is always good. And this is one of those ones where, you don't actually want to use it as a switch. You want to use it for the extra damage. The thing is, you don't always have a choice. Tate and Liza, great example here. Tate and Liza was either a shuffle draw 5, which is really what you wanted it for, or a switch. Tate and Liza saw a bunch of play as a switch. And people never really wanted to use it as a switch. Switch is an item card. Yeah, if you can, you want to be using switch as a switch. But if you need to get out the active this turn, and we've all had 100 turns, millions of turns, where you need to get out of the active right now, and you're looking at your hand, you don't have a switching item, but you do have a Kieran, oh, you're going to use it every time, and you're going to be delighted. So there we go. We got 2 new illustration rares. We've got Chimecho that's good and Wattrel, which is redonk. And we got 2 new full art supporters as well. And now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about these cards. Tell me which ones are going to be your chases. Tell me anything you want to tell me in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. And get shout-outs on the channel like the lovely Uncle Pokepeter, who's been a supporter of ours for a while now and is a very lovely person. So shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.